Okay, so last night of the festival, we're here with the final short film showcase. And I'm joined here with some of the filmmakers behind the films. If you'd like to just introduce yourself, starting with your nearest one here. Introduce yourself and the film, please.
Sure. Hi, I'm Daniel Negret. I'm the writer and director of Merger.
I'm John Ferrer. I directed Cyanide, the two ladies fighting.
And I'm Carrie. I created We Are Final Girls, the documentary.
So, one small piece of admin that we have to say, just first of all. Carrie is a member of the festival team, and a very, very good one, and valued one.
Thank you.
So her film, we should just say on record, is out of competitions. We just have to say that. But yeah, just, there we go. But thank you all for being here. Carrie didn't really have a choice, but you know, it's fine.
Took the words right.
Yeah, you're all welcome. So first question, what made you want to make this film in particular? Do you want to start with us? Yeah.
Sure. I guess I started out my career in a very corporate, dry job, and I needed to sort of express that frustration and dissatisfaction with my life back then. So it was all about a guy pulling an all-nighter and getting absorbed into, quite literally, eaten by his job. So yeah.
I can see that in the film, definitely. John?
Oh god. I think it just started out as, the joke was, what if the chicken fight from Family Guy was serious? But then we didn't have quite the budget to make it as long as intense as Family Guy makes it.
Yeah.
And that was it. And I just kind of wanted to do something a bit. Do you remember those kind of new metal horrors of like the early 2000s that we kind of don't get enough of anymore? Just wanted to do something a bit like that. Very green, you know?
Yeah.
But that's kind of it, really.
Okay.
I wish there was more to it.
So the documentary ended up being my final piece for my master's degree at university. But the reason I chose that topic is because I wanted to watch films. I'd look at the front cover and there'd be like a half-dressed woman, and I realised I ended up I spent so much time researching films to find out if there's any form of abuse scene. So I thought this is a real theme in my viewings. So I just dived into the topic and made a really almost upsetting documentary on it.
So, Carrie, you went to film school. John and Daniel, did you go to film school? Have you got any background, or are you kind of self-started? Do you want to go first, Daniel?
Yeah, I actually did go to film school. I went to film school for producing, and found out that I actually wanted to be a little bit closer to the origination of the idea. So I'm moving more to directing and writing.
I did go to film school. I went to Met Film School for a few years, and yeah, got delayed from the pandemic, but I'm finally out and free. I can actually make films now. Prefer that.
So, each one of you, when the idea for the film first came in, how did it kind of originate? Did you have maybe an image popped in, or was it more of an idea? Carrie, do you want to go first? Like, were you, when you first called the project, what was the light bulb moment?
For me, the first thing I could think of was like a compilation of various female voices telling their stories, almost overlapping. Like that overwhelming flood of, oh, that's happened to me, oh yeah, I've had something very similar, oh yeah, you're not alone. And it went on from there.
I think the first visual that I had was lapping up someone else's vomit, like enthusiastically. And I thought, it's the cheapest gross out gag we can do because we didn't really have that much money. We had no SFX really, so that's kind of it, just a cheap gag.
Yeah, I think for me it was, I really wanted to get something on screen, so I thought of like a relatively contained scenario, and sort of tried to look back at previous life experiences that could lend themselves well to that. And as I said before, it was like a late night in the office. I've pulled many of those before, so that was the inspiration.
Your film definitely felt sort of lived in experience to me when I saw it. Definitely, it was like, this is a guy who's lived this. Definitely. How long did it each take you to make your films? Carrie, do you want to go first?
I really can't remember. I think in the space of a few months, because it was a university project, I didn't have any form of work to stop me, so all day, every day was researching, getting footage, talking to people, but I think maybe 3 or 4 months. But then after using it as my final piece, it's one of those, it's never finished, and watching it up on the screen again, I can see faults, so it feels like it will be a forever ongoing project.
What was the question again?
How long did it take to make your film?
Okay, sorry, really tired. How long did it take? I think it was over a couple of months. Really, like it was. We were all busy working. I used to work as a spark, so I was busy doing lighting. And whenever I had days off, we'd go and like do some prep. So really, I think we did maybe 2 days of rehearsals, 1 or 2 meetings, and then 2 days of filming on a weekend, and that was it. And then editing, obviously, I did myself, so it was like done in the next 2 weeks. It was pretty quick because I don't have much free time. So I wish I did. I wish I could make films all the time, but no.
Yeah, I think it was like a year and a half, probably, start to finish. Basically, because it spent like a year in post-production, because it was on everyone's back burner. You know, being a short, it was pretty low budget, so we had to pull a lot of favors. The actual shoot, I think it was 2 nights. Yeah.
We often ask the question when people see their work on the big screen, like, what do you see in it now that you don't like? But I'm going to flip that. Let's be positive. What's one thing that you're really proud of about the film that you made? Do you want to go first this time, Daniel?
Sure. I really like Jonas's performance, the actor, just because I felt like it's really easy territory to overact, and I think the film would have, died quickly if that happened, and I think he managed to keep a very fine balance in that. So I think his performance.
Yeah, he's really great. John?
God, like I made it like 2 years ago, and even now I just watch it, I'm like, oh God, yeah, no, that is how I used to do things. But I don't know, the tooth gag, I'm still, I guess, happy with the tooth gag. I didn't even come up with it, so I can't be that proud, but yeah.
I really want to say seeing my dog again, because that's like heartbreaking. But I think, I guess just the effect the people's voices have, the women who spoke to me, just the uncomfortable goosebumps that I get hearing those stories again. I don't like that, but I kind of do, because that's the effect I wanted to go for. That's a hard question for a documentary, like...
Yeah. Thought I'd mix it up a bit. So let's think of the best piece of advice either you've received from someone or that you would give a new filmmaker. Let's start with Carrie.
I feel like this is something that I've said before, but it's something that I have to keep saying, is that if it physically pains you to watch it, that's a good sign. Because if you had caught me in the back seat, I was like, a ball cringing. I think it just shows that you care about what's on screen, and your little heart and soul's in it.
Yeah.
Similarly, echoing that, the best bit of advice I was ever given was don't become complacent. And I'm still hoping that's true. Like, I'm trying that, but yeah.
I think just finish it, get it in front of people. I think a lot of people have the desire to make a film and never actually do it. So that's the first piece of advice I'd give. Just do it and get it in front of people.
Okay, let's do a bit of promo. So what are we working on next? Daniel, do you want to go first?
Yeah, I'm trying to flesh this out into a feature. So in the midst of wrestling with that.
Okay. Same. Wow, look at that. No, literally, not next week. In 2 weeks, we shoot a sequel to Cyanide. Slightly bigger. With this time, we can actually afford SFX and a monster. So we'll see if we can do it the way we kind of wanted to. But yeah, we'll see.
I'd also like to make mine into a feature length because it's something that I want to explore really, really in depth. But my next piece is going to be a documentary on borderline personality disorder.
Okay.
Another cheery topic.
Another important topic. Okay, last question, a fun one. You're on a desert island. You can only take one horror film with you. What one are you going to choose? I'm just looking to see who's definitely got an answer. I reckon Carrie's definitely got an answer. Let's go with Carrie first.
I do. I would take The Terrifier, ironically one of the films that I had in my documentary, because Art the Clown, I have to watch cartoons after watching that film. It genuinely creeps me in deep down.
Jaws.
Yes.
Always Jaws.
The Exorcist.
That's 3 times The Exorcist. I had a good Jaws t-shirt on the other day. Fantastic. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you, Carrie, for everything. Everything you do. Thank everyone for joining us and staying around as well. Can we have a round of applause, please, for everyone? Thank you.